Welcome to MBTT. Make it, bake it.
Try it, take it, our craft channel.
Today we're going to be showing you different Scooby stitches. So I'll hand you over to my friend.
Let's start with the basics. These are Scooby-Doo strings, also called craft lace or boondoggle strings. And they come in all different colours, sparkly or normal or see-through, and they can be thick or thin, and you can get them in France, Germany and some craft stores in America. But as I'm British, I just either get them when I'm on holiday or from Amazon.
Right, so first we're going to start with one of the most simplest stitches, the cube stitch. This is a square cuboid shape and it has a different colour on each side. These are a couple of examples. This is made with metallic Scoobies and this one's made with different coloured Scoobies, so I think it looks quite cool and effective. This is another cube stitch, but started a different way, so it has an actual different colour on each side instead of opposites. This is cube stitch done over, so it has a different pattern. Now, here we have the circle stitch. Here are a few examples. And here we have circle stitch done over, so it has a more crazy look. And this is cobra stitch, and it gets the name from looking like a snake. Here is cobra stitch done over, which is very cool, I think. And finally, another simple one is zipper stitch. Now I'll pass over to some more complicated stitches.
This is the brick stitch, not to be confused with square stitch. And as you can see, on a square stitch there is just one set of colour and then another set of colour. But on brick stitch there are two sets of colours and then one down the side. And these are very basic, only a little bit more complicated, but you will need to know these for loads of other stitches. So if you learn this early, that's very good. Here is the Chinese staircase stitch. Probably the easiest stitch to do. It is just a spiral and it's done just using knots. I think these are very fun and they would look great done over pencils or pens. Now, this is actual stitches done on pens, circle and cobra stitch, and this is just knot stitch. It's simple, but I think this one is one of my favourite things I've made. These are some square and circle stitch bracelets. I think these are very nice, and for the addition of a few pretty beads, I think they're very fun, and they work by just putting that through there. This is some French knitting done with Scoobies. I think this is just a fun thing to do if you're struggling a bit with Scoobies, you get a bit bored and you've got loads left over. This can be a nice little project. Talking of projects, when you have learnt to do proper square stitch, this can be fun to do. So we've got a few letters here. I've not quite done the whole alphabet, but I'm aiming to try and do so. And there's P. And I think this would be nice. It'd be a very good name tag to put on things to make presents and stuff like that. And here are some key rings. One with just a normal key ring with some simple stitches on, which look really good. And this is a twisted triangle stitch. I really like this one. And this is a keychain that I have actually made with Scoobies with a 4-colour square cube stitch. Then it's doubled up and then it's single again. And this is like knitting and purling. So we do 6 stitches of square stitch, 1 circle stitch, then 6, and we carry on, and this is probably my favourite that I invented myself. Here is another example. I think they're really fun and I really like those. And here is another. And this is a 6-bit stitch, which is made with pretty much the same technique as a normal circle stitch. It looks really cool and can be very strong. Now, when we do Scoobies, or lanyards, or boondoggles, we can put them on key rings. These usually come in sets at craft stores, and I really like these. These are fun, and I think they're really cool. And here are some metal ones that you can get just about any hardware store or craft store. And now that you've learned lots of simple stitches, these ones you can move on to when you are a bit more professional at them. I call this a combination stitch. So it is brick stitch with see-through down the side, then a twisted corkscrew, just double columns, and because it's see-through down the side, these colours are more defined. And when we learn to use a right angle stitch, which can be so useful to make letters and numbers and shapes, we can make zigzags or stars. This is brick stitch, but I like to call this wave stitch because it looks like a bit like a wave. And this is very simple too. It's just stitches and corkscrew stitches, then brick stitch, then corkscrew. This is a normal square stitch with a little bit of multicoloured wool running down the middle, and this can be fiddly and tangly, but I think the effect is great and it'll make a lovely bracelet. This is just a little improvised person that I make, and when you get good at doing these, you'll find that you just do little things without really looking even, and it's just made with cobra stitch and square stitch. This is another improvised one. It's a bit random, but I love it. I like the colours and I think it's really original. There'll never be another one like it. This is the triple corkscrew. More see-through, so I think this is probably one of my favourites because of all the colours you can get incorporated into that, and if you wanted you can have up to 5 colours in these. Chain stitch. This is very fiddly when you come to crossing over the stitches, but I think this looks awesome. This was it was my first brick stitch, and it is with 9 different colours in a rainbow, silver down the side, and it is a lovely one to make, and I think this is really, really cool. And now for some works in progress. This one is almost finished, and as you can see I've slided a clip into the top too, and it is a normal super brick stitch, then brick stitch, corkscrew stitch, and then twisted corkscrew brick stitch. Bit of a mouthful, but this one will look awesome when it's done, I hope. This is what I like to call the DNA stitch. It is the same as this stitch, but every 8 stitches we do a normal wool or brick stitch, and I think these look really cool. This is a double column twisted. I really like that one. I think it's really cool, and I've used a multicoloured string there to give them different coloured effect. And this is like a normal circle stitch, but if you look very closely you can notice it goes in a zigzag pattern, And this is done by every few stitches. We just do a normal cube stitch. I really like this one. This is another one of them. I like these two colours together. This is a normal brick stitch, which we'll be using for a tutorial. And as you can see, I've used see-through for the first two bits, so you can actually see what happens to the strings. This is a cobra stitch, but alternating, because with cobra stitch you do it over the top of two middle strings. So I've done that and then kept swapping the colours. This is a zigzag super wool stitch brick, another mouthful, but every 3 stitches I've done a normal stitch, but all the rest have been corkscrew, so it goes like a cool zigzag. And this one, last but not least, is a corkscrew 6 colour stitch.
So, after all those stitches, I bet you're yearning to learn some of the really cool ones. So, don't forget to leave a comment down below and we'll be sure to post a video. Okay, bye!